It's great to have the opportunity to say hello to everybody again across our island. It's a beautiful autumn sunny morning here in Beaumaris. So send greetings to everybody. I want to keep in prayer and mind at this time all who are unwell. We all know some of them. Remember those who have died recently and their relatives. All those whose anniversaries are at this time as well. I've been asked to remember especially Ewan Davies this morning. Ewan died 5 years ago, so I want to remember him and his mother and dad, Marilyn and John. I want to say our thanks to all those who keep us in the loop through, especially through the newsletter at this time, all the work that goes into writing, preparing and distributing the newsletter through either through letters or through postage and through email. Great work was on, thank you. We're now at the 30th Sunday of Ordinary Time. It's only we only go up to week 34, so another 4 weeks, and then we're going to be into Advent and whatever Christmas is going to look like for us this year. This Sunday scriptures, Paul, is an extract from Paul's letter to the people of Thessalonica. They were called Thessalonians for obvious reasons. But it's a very powerful, positive statement, isn't it? I always get the impression that these were his favorite people. He always has positive things to say about the Thessalonians, people of Thessalonica, how he hears good news about them from other people as well. So this message is there for all of us across in today's world in that also. In the Gospel of Matthew, I noticed Frank in his homily letter this week talks about the cross being a vertical line and a horizontal line. And it's so true of today's gospel. The basic commandments, most commandments are love God and love our neighbor. In one of St. John's letters, he says, don't fool yourself into thinking you love God if you don't love your neighbor. He even calls it, you'd be a liar, he says, even in that. So these are very appropriate readings for us this Sunday. During this time of lockdown, back since March, it's fantastic that we've had Zoom. So many people have been able to meet up virtually on Zoom. And our thanks to Pauline for all the work that she's done in hosting those meetings, learning how to do it, and so many people able to take part in, not just across the island, but in a wider field as well. There are people outside of Anglesey who take part in these gatherings also. It's great. Thank you. As regards our churches, as you're aware, we've had no Sunday Mass in Anglesey since the middle of March. 2 churches are open for weekday masses, Holyhead and Bentley. We're hoping to get permission to open Amlach, Beaumaris and Plangevney. Work has been done in preparation for that. Wonderful actually, I was up in Amlach last week and it's great to meet so many people there in connection with the reopening of their church. And also Beaumaris and Plangevney. Bishop Peter was to come next week to hopefully sanction the reopening of these 3 churches, but that has now to be postponed because of the new lockdown. So that won't happen now before middle of November. So hopefully that will happen then. Pope Francis has issued a new encyclical entitled Fratelli Tutti. Somebody said it sounds like Italian ice cream or something. But it's an address to the whole of humanity, and I know Pauline has brought some copies of this. I think she told me about 50 copies. So anybody who wants to buy a copy of it, it's about £5 something. But she's also going to run a reading course on this for people on Zoom, which would be great. And hopefully lots of people will be part of that as well coming up. So all these details are on the newsletter every week. which is great. Just one final reminder, of course, that the clocks go back 1 hour this weekend. I hate winter time myself, but that's they go. So it goes back 1 hour. People forget, we all forget which way these clocks go. As the Americans say, you spring forward and you fall back. Fall is the American stuff for autumn. So we get an extra hour's sleep in the morning, as far as we ever need it now anymore. So that's me. I just want to finish with a little prayer, which is a reflection on this Sunday's gospel. Lord, according to the philosophy of individualism, the greatest commandment is to look after ourselves, to seek prosperity for our immediate families and for our countries. And to defend that commandment, we often quote scientists and doctors and lawyers, allying ourselves with all sorts of people with whom we do not normally associate. Help us to be simple and uncompromising like Jesus, showing that loving others is the same as worshipping you, and that all laws and prophets must fall into line with this teaching. See you again next time, and hope we all keep safe and well and positive, people of faith and people of hope at this time, and people of care and concern. Thank you. See you. Bye.